persist in your assumption and it will harden into fact. So this is a statement that you can hear many times throughout Neville Goddard's teachings. And behind that statement, there is an even more powerful revelation, which is that the desired state and reality does exist. And by us dwelling in it, we let it harden into fact, but it is already so. So how to do that correctly? This is what we're going to talk about right now. Assume you are already that which you seek, and your assumption, though false, if sustained, will harden into fact. So though false, right, though your senses will deny, though your senses will tell the opposite, though there is no evidence to your senses that you can be it, that you can have it, if you sustain that new mood, that new reality in yourself, right, and you awaken it, and then you nurture it and you come back to it whenever the desire is coming up again, that is when it will harden into fact. So you have to assume that you are which you seek, right? And that is very powerful, because if you keep seeking it, keep desiring it, keep hoping for it, well, there's no change happening. So we have to dare to assume that we are it right now without any proof. And I know that this can be tricky in the beginning. This was also tricky for me. But when you see that, okay, you could only desire what you seek because it is in existence, well, then you simply see, okay, the reason alone for you having the desire means that you can dwell on the wish fulfilled of that desire. So you can already have this, you can manifest this. It is available as a potential. But it can only come forth once we start to fuse with it, once we start to dive in it, once we start to, again, like turn it on within us. So this mental journey into the desired state with its subsequent feeling of reality is all that is necessary to bring about its fulfillment. Whatever the phrase is, let it imply that the assumption is true, that it is concrete, that it is already a fact, and you know it. So what Neville is meaning by that, with whatever the phrase is, whatever your imagined act is, whatever your imagined scene is that you utilize to anchor yourself in the wish-fulfilled state. So you have a desire right now. Suppose you already have this desire in your life right now. Suppose it happened 2 days ago, 2 weeks ago, right? Suppose this is now already part in your life. What would be different? What would your best friend, now that you meet them, what would they say to you? What would you say to someone? What would you encounter in your day-to-day life that would imply that things are not different than they were before? So with such an imaginary scene, you can anchor yourself more and more in that relief, wish-fulfilled end state. So when you pray, right, when you hope for something, do not go down on your knees and pray to any unknown God. Instead, go to bed or sit on your couch and dare to assume you are now who you want to be. Fall asleep assuming it is true, and you will be on the road to success. For this is how things are brought into being. And I want to point something very important out here, which is that being things being brought into being, I think, you should be very aware here, because they're basically, what Neville is saying, they're being brought into the manifested world, but they are already in being. They are already in existence, right? But they're being brought into manifestation. They will harden into fact once we find that state, once we assume that state, that reality within us, right? So instead of hoping, praying, and begging an external entity to give us something, no, we give the desired state to ourselves, right? Like Neville said, the world gives you what you first give yourself. So we first need to give ourselves the wish fulfilled internally, and then as a consequence, the manifestation happens. Remember, always manifestation, consequence of within already having achieved the goal, already being in the end state. So we have to dare to assume, right? Not, maybe I can, play it small, and no, dare to assume that desire as it comes without, without molding the desire and making it smaller. No, take it as it comes, as the desire comes, because you could not have the desire if you could not dwell on the wish fulfilled of the desire. So of course it does exist. Otherwise you could not experience it. Otherwise you could not feel the feeling of already having it. So in consciousness, in existence, in the unseen reality, of course it exists. But it's your job to now align with it, fuse with it, so that the 3D world, the mirror of life, can show the reflection of that internal realignment. Dare to assume that you have your desire. You may feel you do not have the wisdom to find the means to get it. Right? Meaning what so many people do is they try to work out a way, and they think that, but I right now don't see a way how this can be. What Neville's saying here, what I always say, still go straight to the end state. If it takes 1,000 or 10,000 people to play their parts to bring you into the embodiment of what you have assumed you are, they will play their parts, knowingly or unknowingly. And that's very interesting, right? Because remember, on the deepest plane, right, not on this duality, three-dimensional sense plane in our day-to-day world, but on the deepest plane, we are all connected. We are all one. We all share the same awareness, the same beingness, the same source, but we're like refracted in millions of different viewpoints and individualizations of consciousness, but we are all one. So if I change my inner world, my external mirror, which again is like an externalization of my inner world, but it's still all connected, including people, also reflect back that inner change. So if I change from, someone that is, a person that's, left behind, unwanted, this, and that, and if I would change to a state of, now I'm this, and that, people would also reflect back that new state, so they will play their role. If someone that's lonely assumes that they're like in a relationship, happily partnered, in a relationship with that other person is also their mirror, right? That other person is also, in a sense, influenced. I don't like that word, but it's because of that connection, right, that we share. So that's why Neville said, right, no matter if you can assume it right now or not, no matter if your mind can understand it right now, you can still dwell on the wish-fulfilled state. You don't need any proof for it right now. The proof is in you. The desire alone is proof that your desired state does exist. Desiring a state means having a state. So the fact alone that you can desire it means that you can also dwell on the wish fulfilled for that state. And no matter what is needed in the external world to embody that, if people are needed, if you yourself are needed to do any new actions, to do anything, whatever is happening on the outside will just all mold around that new inner state that you started to awake in yourself, which has to express. So you do not have to be concerned as to who is going to aid you. Simply dare to assume you are what you want to be, and you will compel everyone to play their part to bring about your assumption. That is life. Walk as though it were true. That's one of my favorite lines. That's one of my favorite, statements. Walk as though it were true. Walk as being the version of yourself that already has it. Not still trying to get it, not secretly hoping for it, waiting for it. No, be it right now without any confirmation or asking anyone for permission. Be now that most successful version of yourself. Be now that most confident version of yourself. Even if you don't even have the emotions already, aligned with that, still internally fully just, boldly claim that new state. And then things will change. Your thoughts, your emotions, your actions, how people treat you. But you have to be it right now. And do the best of your ability, believe that it is true. And that assumption, though denied by your senses, right? When you shift into a new state where you are partnered, where you are in your desired relationship, where you are with this person, where you're now in a friendship, where you're now having a successful business, whatever it is, that is first unseen. That is first unseen for the world. It is an unseen reality that you already dwell in, that you make natural for yourself from within. And then it will be objectified, and this state will be reflected. It will be pushed out, so to speak. But it will be first denied by the senses, and that's okay. So though the world would say it is false, if you persist in it, it will harden into fact. And that is this amazing statement, right? It will harden into fact. But something can only harden into a fact because it's already a truth. And then we let it harden into fact, but it does already exist. Do you understand this, right? It does exist in an unseen realm that's outside of our senses, but we still can imagine it. We can still feel into it. We can still dwell on the wish fulfillment. So it does exist, and therefore it will harden into fact. This is the law of your own wonderful imagination. Believe it, and it will become a reality. So here's my summarized explanation. Then at the end of the video, I want to show you also one illustration that some of you know, but I still want to show it again. So to change anything in your life, you have to change your state of consciousness. This should be something that now that you're in the manifestation teachings should be clear to you. It's useless to battle with the external world because then you keep yourself very limited. Then you try to change a mirror. If you won't expect your bathroom mirror to show another face, if you look at it, you first have to change your face. So you within first have to be already who you want to be and give yourself that mood, that state of having what you want to have. And then Mirror of Life can confirm. So it all starts from within. So don't try to attempt and break the mirror and fight the external mirror, right? Change starts from within. Furthermore, everything that you experience is a result of you changing the contents of your consciousness, right? Of you changing whatever you keep alive in your inner garden, in your inner reality. So we assume the state of consciousness which would be ours if we had already attained our goal. This is the only thing that will bring about your aim. So forcing action is irrelevant and won't lead to anything, since your action itself is a symbol of your state. Your actions are always coming from your state. You shift in consciousness, right? You shift within the unseen realm, and you assume a new state, and then your external senses will catch up, and also, in a sense, a new portion of creation will open up. To really, drive my point home, again, there is this amazing illustration that I want to show you here. I use this in a lot of my videos. Maybe some of you know this from my free masterclass. But that when it comes to manifesting, right, when we speak simply about, how to apply manifesting, then it will never yield any result if you try to, from your current state, solve a problem, take actions, or get to your desired reality. Because the desired reality is not found from your current state, right? The desired reality will open up for you, and you will make it manifested once you align yourself within first to the desired state. So you can't, like Neville said, you can't try to attempt to change the circumstances before your inner state hasn't, lined up yet. So if you experience right now something that you are dissatisfied with, that you are triggered about, that you want to change, then stop fighting this. Let this be as it is right now. It's right now there. Yes, we see it, we acknowledge it, but we don't try to push it away. Instead, we let it as it is right now. We assume within, also the purpose of this video, right? We assume within that state, so that already existing state, and then therefore this new state, this new reality we started to awake will harden into fact. And this can be, of course, adopted for any life area. But that was really my goal here in this video, to show you that also if something is false right now and not confirmed yet, if you persist in it and dwell in it, it will automatically harden into fact as a result of you having basically stayed faithful or kept alive this unseen reality in yourself that is then projected out, that's then made manifested as a consequence of you having awoken at first in yourself. Manifestation, consequence of the wish fulfilled. Very important. So please let me know if you have any questions on that. So this video should serve more as a reminder. Please leave them in the comments down below. And also, if you need help on that, if you want to take it to the next level, if you want, a community, you no longer want to be alone, you want support, you want a system, you want structure, I invite you to check out my program. That's the second link in the video description and pinned comment. You can apply for a free call with me or my team so that we can figure out if we are a good fit. Right? We are over 200 people. Everyone is very encouraging. People achieve amazing successes. You can also check out on my channel my success story playlist, where you found basically successes on all life areas: relationship, general, specific, cars, houses, money, business success. It's like normal in a sense, because when you really apply this, then you should see some movement in your outer world. Don't blame yourself. Don't be harsh on yourself. This is a journey. This is very individual. Never compare yourself. I can give you an environment that is very empowering, that you can be in, that has a structure, a system, a community, my support, if you want that. If not, you have the YouTube channel, you have free resources everywhere, and I wish you the best. And yeah, that's basically it. So talk to you soon, guys.